can try at home some draft.
Yay!
We have a new draft overlay for you guys here. ESV Championship Series. These are the grand finals. Rocking this draft overlay. You can see ban rates, pick rates. Check that stuff out, guys. So
Getting
here
that
we
math.
have. Oh, dude, I don't know, dude. Math, that's hard. I just want to name some characters off. So Symbiote did get first ban, first pick in this game. Snowflake on the second ban, second pick. We see Symbiote starts off with the Stitches ban, which is a really, really common ban. We've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Now, Snowflake responds with a Tassadar ban. I mean, I don't know where they got... I mean, that image of Tassadar may not look exactly like Tassadar we know and love in Heroes of the Storm icons, but
I
that's
think
a
that's from the
Tassadar.
fan art of when he... Spoiler, StarCraft original, he dies when he crashes his carrier into the Overmind. I think that's what that picture's from, if my lore is correct.
Wow, dude. So you're bringing it back with the fan art references. And then we go, you know, this draft looks pretty normal. We see Symbiote take Arthas, Tyrael, both high picks really early. Tychus, Falstad on Snowflake's side, just really common stuff. You know, Vala, Rhaegar, ending up with Raynor to round out that SMG roster. Snowflake picking up Chen again in this lineup. They're the only team so far to pick Chen. That's why the pick rate is so low. They've only played it one game in the ECS. What do you think of Chen here, Zoya?
I have never personally seen a Chen play that I enjoyed, but if anyone can pull it off, it can be Snowflake. They're really good with warriors overall. I wonder who's playing Chen though. But actually have
LZ
the
Gamer.
Okay,
It's got to be LZ Gamer.
Yeah, that's like if it's LZ on Chen, and it is. Okay, then they have a Chen. LZ is good at making heroes that no one else plays work. So, like, he played Tyrael back when no one played him. He played Abathur back when no one played him, and he was the best at those at the time. Probably still is the best at those two heroes right now. But if anyone can make Chen work, it's LZ. Overall, I like both teams, though. I mean, you have the Zagara for, you know, delaying that Bloodlust, and, you know, the Raynor pick, we don't see it that often, but Raynor is really good now. Well, I mean, not as good as a Vala or a Falstad, but mixed in with the Arthas when you have the Executioner procs constantly, and then you add in the Bloodlust from Raynor, at level 16 plus, Raynor is going to be doing insane amount of damage.
Absolutely. I think Arthas enabling the Raynor execution is just kind of where you need to be to have that Raynor be effective, in my experience. And I am going to say that I'm a little scared for Symbiote because Zagara is so effective at denying uptime when you pop that Bloodlust if she gets the Maw off. It's so hard to team fight into that. It's kind of like a Void Prison. I mean, Symbiote's going to have to play around that, not clump up, because if their 2 DPS get eaten while that Bloodlust is up, that's going to be a lost team fight.
Overall, I think both teams are really good. I don't know which one I would give the advantage to, though. I mean, I want to just go ahead and give it to SMG just because they don't have a Chen, but I don't want to go in immediately doubting. Like, the one thing I'm looking for the most this game is to see which heroic LZ's taking.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we have some quick facts for you guys, just some cute stuff before we get into this game. So, Stitches, who's banned, has a 100% win rate on Cursed Hollow in the ESV series. Neat fact. Vala, on the other hand, only has a 16.7% win rate on Cursed Hollow.
I can see that.
That's kind of mind-blowing because I don't see how that map affects Vala at all, but, you know, small sample size,
kind of see
funny
that.
things happen.
Her damage isn't the best pre-10, like, when it comes to just straight-up fighting. And she's really squishy, so I can kind of see that, like, when you're fighting for the tributes. I mean, Vala's not bad, but she's not the best range support. Like, I prefer a Falstad or a Tychus because you have the displacement, and then your Falstad obviously has just a little bit more mobility. So I can kind of see that, but I think that's just random numbers.
Falstad hasn't ever lost a game on Cursed Hollow, so it's funny you should bring him up because in all of the ECS, Falstad has not lost a game on Cursed Hollow.
That is awesome.
Which is crazy to me. Now, Symbiote have played 4 games with Arthas. They've won all 4 of those games. And Symbiote has played 5 games with Tyrael and Rhaegar and won all 5 of those games.
Dang.
So, Symbiote obviously picking heroes that they are very comfortable with, have huge win rates and records on. Now, that's going to be an easy call to make, considering Symbiote's record overall is absurdly good. So, like, anything they pick, it's going to be like, yeah, they've got, like, an 85 or 100% win rate on that. So, that's kind of to be expected. Anyway.
As of a few weeks ago, Matt Timmy said Rhaegar was his favorite, and you know they love that level 1 healing ward, so.
Definitely, definitely. Now Snowflake running Chen, who they have run and won with, and also Zagara, who they run only one time before and won with. So we're going to see if those picks, despite being not that familiar to them in competitive games, do end up working out, guys. Let's get some hype and go into the actual game. Are you ready, Zoya?
5 seconds and normalize, sir.
Oh, man, you sound like you are on point. Let's drop in here. I think I am also at 5 seconds, normal speed, minimized timeline. Got these leaderboards at the top here. You can actually see this is brand new, guys. We've got Snowflake up on the top left, on the left side of the map. You can see that. Symbiote on the right side. This is the finals.
Oh, that thing's cool looking.
Let's get these grand finals going. Are we ready to start in 3, 2, 1? Let's go, Zoya. I've got LZ Gamer leading the charge on Chen, Idra rocking the Master Skin, Tychus, Chillatek on the Uther, Keelax on Falstad, and Faye on that Zagara with those big maws.
And in the red trunks, we have SMG, Mad Timmy playing Rhaegar, Dreadnought on Tyrael, Soldier on Arthas, KO on Raynor, and rounding out the team, we have Arthalon on Vala.
Oh, yeah. All those heroes they are very familiar with. I am so hyped for this grand finals. I can't believe it. Now, we do see 5 kind of running towards the middle here for Snowflake. They're going to grab that watchtower real fast. SMG already grabbed their own watchtower and is now 1-3-1. So I think we can expect to see Tyrael and Arthas looking to put some pressure on early here. They're really the only viable gank squad.
Now, I mean, you have a lot more experience with Chen than I do. How does Chen do in the early game laning phase?
Well, that's actually a really interesting question because Chen, he can sit there and soak, but he doesn't really do anything, right? He can't push the wave very quickly because he doesn't do that much damage. He can't really gank before level 7 because he doesn't have any meaningful CC to add on to it. So it's just like Chen in the early game is a bit of a liability in the sense that he can't really accomplish anything, although he can soak very safely.
Now we do have this 3-man push here from Snowflake. We do have Soldier in the bushes, Dreadnought and Arthalon here to defend. This is an interesting thing to see because there's a lot of RNG that can happen. We do have Soldier going in on Chillatek, Dreadnought doing a little bit of damage here. Chillatek going to heal himself up though. Hydra being spawned on Arthalon. Arthalon taking a decent amount of damage. He's going to have to back off, and Chillatek will have to tap the well as Arthalon. No kills just yet. Soldier is swinging back around though.
Definitely. So Arthalon went tap the well, gonna get his health back. So it looks like Symbiote still wants to try and force a fight here. Oh, we see Arthalon going in, getting a lot of harass down. Faye gets caught in the root. Is that going to be it? No, Faye gets a big heal from Uther, and he's going to get to walk away, and now Soldier has to be the one to run away. Super low after that Tychus overkill. And I really like this aggressive tri-lane by Snowflake. I think it really plays to the strengths of Zagara in the early game.
Absolutely.
And
Being able
Tychus,
to push this lane hard is really going to be beneficial to the Zagara.
Definitely. And we do see Symbiote has backed up. They lost kind of the skirmishing in the bottom. They lost the health pool, so they couldn't really deal with that bottom lane. So now they pulled back and went and got the Giants. This is going to help mitigate some of that pushing, but I'm afraid it's not going to be in time. Snowflake putting a lot of pressure on these towers. They're almost out of ammunition already.
Well, you have to be aware of, though, if they are stacked 3 bottom. Now, the tributes, when they spawn, they are random. It's pure RNG. So if we get a tribute top lane and they all want to collapse on it, with Snowflake having 3 bottom right now, they're going to be the slowest to get there if it does spawn top lane. So we have to keep an eye on that RNG, see if it plays in Snowflake's favor or not.
Absolutely. Now we do see in the mid lane, Chen just kind of got pushed out of lane a bit, so he had to soak behind his towers. Now this is given opportunity for Rhaegar to rotate down, and we're going to see if something happens here. It looks like they're trying to engage. They've got a root on Chillatek. Is it going to be enough? The 3-man body block is so real, and Symbiote takes out that first blood onto the unlikely tanky target of Uther.
And then the tribute does spawn. It happens to be bottom lane, and they're already stacked there. Just a bad timing for Snowflake in general for that to happen. They're not going to be able to contest this at all.
Yeah, I don't think Snowflake is going to want to try to venture out of their base past those Siege Giants in order to contest this tribute. They're probably going to give this one up immediately. Perfect timing on that kill by Symbiote. Oh man, that tribute spawn was so clean. Now Faye taking a little bit of harass damage from the Tyrael, but it's just not going to be that relevant. And we see Raynor moving back to the top lane. Now Falstad did not move out of this top lane at all, so he probably missed a little less experience than Raynor did, who rotated down towards the mid lane to make sure that he could get there if their team fought. And that's just the kind of smart utilization of your map mobility that you want to see, just optimizing your experience gains.
Yeah, and the push is still happening bot lane. The towers are starting to fall. Siege Giants did not do that much to Snowflake's defense, so they are still pretty solid bot lane. That's just the power of Zagara, has able to defend and push 4 days. Second tribute should be spawning soon, and we do see that the Arthas and the Demon Hunter are taking their Knights mid lane.
Yeah, so I like that play a lot. There's kind of a lull in the fighting in this moment right after that first tribute. There's not a whole lot going on the map, so taking those early Knights is really good. We even see Vala heading up to top side, maybe going to pressure Kelex out of lane, but meanwhile in this bottom lane, the 3-man push is going strong. Now the entire front wall is down there for Team Snowflake. Oh, they almost get the root on Idra, but he managed to dodge aside. Is the slow from the Earthbind going to be enough? No, even with the poison and the death cool, Idra does not go down. He just walks back to safety thanks to his Uther healer.
Sick dodge from Idra on that freeze. If he would have been frozen by that, he would have died. There was no getting away from that. So good job from him dodging that. The tribute is top lane. We do have Arthas heading down there. Tyrael is staying in lane. LZ actually going in on Arthalon right now, trying to get as much damage as possible. Chiltech wants to get the stun, but Soldier does show up. They're going to have to back off here, trying to defend these Knights as well as possible. And it doesn't look like Snowflake's going to be contesting this tribute. We actually do have Tychus going up. Zagara staying bot lane to keep pushing.
Yeah, the Uther Chen not the fastest wave clear, and that means those Knights are going to be around in the mid lane for a lot longer than Snowflake would like, and I think that cedes a little bit too much of their map control. Oh, they've left the Knights in the middle now. Chen re-engaging onto the Symbiote team. Mad Timmy trying to zone for Arthalon. This is a 4v4 in the top side, though Soldier dealing with those creeps hasn't helped his team yet. Arthalon getting very low from the Chen dive. Will Chen be able to do it? It looks like he's chasing him out. Rhaegar gets safe behind his wall. LZ Gamer chasing Vala very far away from the team fight. Meanwhile, Arthas zoning out the entire Snowflake lineup. Will Vala survive? Goes into the little juke spot in an attempt to avoid Chen. The Rhaegar comes in with the heal, and it's going to be enough to save Vala. Now LZ Gamer's overextended on that Chen, but they aggro the Great Golem on accident, and it's doing work to Soldier, who ends up going down to the retaliation damage of Falstad and the Grave Golem.
And at the same time, Tyrael left bot lane. Zagara is pushing it so hard. Faye has the ammo down. It's at 3/4 HP. Might be able to take that. Who actually won the tribute? It was Snowflake. So now they are tied 1-1. Kills are 1-1 on tributes, and kills are 1-1 as well.
Absolutely. So also, Snowflake has a really good spot to pressure this bottom lane fort. It's already at 3/4 health and out of ammo. Faye just stays down here, keeps putting pressure on there, and unless Faye gets ganked and dies or forced out of lane somehow, that fort is going to go down very soon.
Luckily, Faye's been doing well, not luckily, but Faye has been doing a good job of keeping up those creep tumors, trying to make sure she can't get ganked, trying to put as much pressure on the map as possible. We do have Mad Timmy, KO, and Soldier here in position around their Grave Golem. Looks like that's what they're wanting to take at the same time, though. LZ, Shiltek, and Faye are taking their own, so both teams taking a Grave Golem. It's going to be a really interesting thing to see. Do both teams just go for the defense against the Grave Golem, or do they go for the tribute? I think this puts Snowflake in a really great position because that fort bot lane is already super exposed. This Grave Golem should be able to take it easy.
Yeah, I think no matter what Symbiote does, actually, they lose the bottom fort to the Grave Golem, so we might see them, because of that, decide to push top hard in order to make sure that they get a trade, and they're even more incentivized to do that. Oh, a big pick on Kelex here. He gets hit by the root as he's flying, doesn't make it over the wall, meaning the Tyrael Judgment comes in, kills him, and now Symbiote has a 5v4, if you include the Golem, a 6v4 on this top fort for 15 seconds. They are definitely going to take this fort, and now the question is, how will Snowflake react? It looks like they're kind of split decision right now. They're all in the mid lane, but they're kind of running around. They've now decided to start doing damage to this mid fort. They don't have any creeps or mercenaries there, which means it's not going to be as fast as possible, and Symbiote is not backing off this top lane. They send one person to gather the tribute, who looks like he's going to get interrupted by Uther just in time. Mad Timmy not going to be able to get that tribute for Symbiote, but Symbiote doing heavy damage to this front wall on the top keep.
Snowflake has to be careful here. They are going to be fighting underneath the Grave Golem. They can't go two-hand here. Here comes LZ Gamer from the top, going straight onto KO, taking a good amount of damage here. Tyrael does not have his judgment just yet. Faye getting caught at the bottom. Soldier gets the slow off on him. Raiders are doing a lot of damage. Faye is going to fall. There's the Bloodlust, big Bloodlust here. And LZ Gamer's caught in a weird position. We do see Falstad falling as well. LZ's not going to be able to get away from Soldier and Arthalon. Oh, he does actually use the split and will be able to get away from that. 2-0, though, in favor of SMG, and they might be able to get this inner keep.
Yeah, I think they actually get this keep here. I don't see how Snowflake can force them off of it with this much range damage on that. They might have to sacrifice 1 or 2 people to get this, but it is absolutely worth. Oh, wow, we see the re-engage here from Symbiote. They want this Odin. Odin does drop, but that leaves a full health Tychus underneath, and they decide that is too deep. They don't want to dive into another keep for that, and they are going to try to escape. There is no lead rain yet from Tychus. Snowflake, they're not level 13, so there's no way for them to chase down that Symbiote team, and that means Symbiote can just walk away after taking the fort and the keep. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, they did lose that fort, like we had said. It was already very damaged to the Grave Golem, but the second one, the keep, just barely takes any damage on the front wall, so Symbiote coming out way ahead in that trade.
Yeah, big wins right there. 3 kills up right now. They've got the keep. Catapults will be pushing the lane the entire time. And now SMG can kind of just dictate the map. They're going to rotate from objective to objective and force Snowflake to just kind of respond and clean up their mess. They're going to have to defend against Knights. We do see that SMG is going for the tribute right now. It's 2 in favor of Snowflake versus the 1 of SMG, so they can go ahead and pass up one of them right now, but it looks like they actually want to fight. Don't think they'll be able to delay it, though.
Symbiote definitely has 5 people in position. They want to fight this. Oh, they don't actually. Arthas is on his way. This is a little over-aggressive that they actually take the fight here before Arthas gets here, but he is here now, so they're okay. Now the question is, with a 14-13 advantage, can they take the team fight as cleanly as the last one where they got a 2-for-0? Arthas on the top side, he's a little split from his team, which means he can't frontline as effectively. If the Snowflake team wanted to engage on that backline, there was no Arthas to zone for them, but they decide to back off. The tribute is gone. Symbiote did what they wanted to do. Oh, now Symbiote might have caught LZ Gamer on that Chen. Is he going to go down? He gets Judgment, and then he gets the split off Zoya. He is going to survive if he backs out here. Now the question is whether Symbiote is overextended or not. Chillitek trying to get in for a big stun. He stuns 3, but there's no damage to follow up. That Divine Storm just gets wasted, and then Chillitek goes down instantly to that focus fire, and that means a free fort for Symbiote.
Yeah, Knight's helping here a lot for that fight for SMG as well, making it, there's no way that Snowflake could fight that. There's too much push there. Levels 15 to 14, 16 is so close for SMG, and once they have that execution run Rainer, his damage increases so much.
Yeah, absolutely. His damage just goes through the roof. You see he's only hitting for 262 right now. Basically, when he levels up to 16 and gets that Executioner, he's going to start hitting for 450 each hit. It is so brutal to play against. Now, we do see Symbiote in position. They're going to start this channel. Really cheeky. Dreadnought sorting over the wall to get in there as fast as possible. LZ Gamer going to interrupt this, but not going to be able to get it himself. Now, this might be a ploy. Symbiote is trying to position on the top side. They want to run into this base. They're trying to get Dreadnought to get the entire enemy team at this tribute, but they just were spotted by Snowflake as they enter the base where they have vision. Are they going to be able to kill the core before Snowflake can all back?
It's going to be close, and it's about half health. It does not look like they're going to be able to get it. Mad Timmy and Soldier still trying to wail on it. It's so low that even if they don't clean this right now, and yeah, they do end up cleaning it up. So even though they didn't kill this right now, it's a constant threat of backdoor right now. And even with them being dead for 30 seconds, Snowflake is cursed. They can't really push that hard. And they're not exposed as heavily as Snowflake is. So
no, Symbiote's cursed. Symbiote has all their people dead, and they're cursed.
Oh,
Dreadnought lost the fight. Dreadnought actually lost the fight over the tribute. That's a huge blow for Symbiote. They might actually lose the game here to this death push by Snowflake. Snowflake has gotten 5 people onto that middle keep, but there's only 8 seconds left on the Arthas timer. That is not that long before the entire Symbiote team is up. They're going to get the keep. I don't even know if they can get out, though. This is such a dangerous position to be in. They're all inning for the keep. Oh, Raynor overextends, gets caught, instantly dies to that full Snowflake roster, and that pick might be the difference between a won and lost game here for Symbiote. Now Chen diving into the core, goes on Arthalon, but he's not going to have enough damage to kill him on his own. Meanwhile, Arthas zoning out the Tychus in the Odin and the Zagara. Now re-engage here from Arthalon with that strafe, getting good damage onto the Snowflake team, but he doesn't really have a team to back it up. Super low health bars on Snowflake, everyone very low, but Arthas and Tyrael just don't have the damage to kill through the Uther healing and the Chen shields. But it looks like Symbiote's gonna hold.
This is absurd, dude. What's happening? This is so crazy. I didn't realize that LZ had beaten Dreadnought to the tribute, and what great picks. Immediately snagging that Raynor kill. Level 17 to... well, as Snowflake's actually being really greedy right now. They're all pretty low health. They're still pushing bot lane. Yes, they have 6 seconds on Rhaegar and Vala, but... I don't know. Do you think this is too greedy?
I mean, this might be a mistake here. We see 2 people at like half health, Keelax at 2/3. LZ Gamer's so low, he can't effectively frontline or disrupt the enemy backline when he's that low health. Too scary. especially if he does not have that primal split available, which we see that he does not. So they do end up backing out here. Don't get punished for that. Now, what is Symbiote going to do? I think Symbiote has the read on Snowflake and knows they want to go to this Grave Golem. They all run down, took the Watchtower. They're going to run past where Falstead was backing, not going to see him in the brush. Snowflake going to need to give up this Grave Golem. They cannot fight with those low health people, and Symbiote, they're just searching. They know Snowflake was in the area. They're searching him out. They clear that creep tumor so Snowflake doesn't have vision.
Oh, Snowflake's going for the back door. They're going down middle.
Snowflake is running down middle now, pulling a page out of the SMG strategy book. Now the wave is very far pushed up in favor of Snowflake. This means that Symbiote will not have vision of them for a long time, but Symbiote smells something as funny, and they start the back immediately after the Grave Golem. They're already back inside their base, and that means... Oh no, Arthelon! Arthelon getting caught in the mid lane, like you said, Zoya. He tried to come up from behind on the Snowflake team, but he was all alone and just gets turned on and killed. And now Symbiote has to fight another 4v5 while they wait out this death timer.
This is so absurd. It's only a 4v5. They do not have the Uther ultimate. They do not have Divine Storm. They have to be mindful of that. 3 catapults here to help push this fort. Soldier going ham onto Faye. Dreadnought diving in. Here comes Raiders. They're doing a lot of damage. Huge maw. Odin gets caught from behind. We do see that Faye has fallen. A big shock and awe coming out from Keelax. LZ Gamer is being pushed back. KO is so low in health. He's trying to heal himself up. There is the healing ward not being taken out. Idra does end up losing that Odin. It is now a 4v4. Everyone is pretty low on Snowflake. Keelax getting healed up to full though. Idra doing a lot of damage to Soldier. Soldier is going to fall. Dreadnought has to back off as well. KO is exposed. His passive is down. Here comes Arfon though. LZ Gamer has used his heroic. Shelltech is so low on health. He does not have his Divine Storm. Idra gets a grenade, but not the best one. They're going in on him hard, and Idra is going to fall as well, and now it is only a 4v2.
Absolutely. That is a devastating team fight for Snowflake, who thought they had the advantage 5v4, but the Symbiote team managed to keep that fight going long enough for Arthelon to come back up, re-engage with the strafe, and finally finish them off. Oh my god.
My replay bugged out.
No, your replay didn't bug out. Symbiote just won from the Winions in the top lane, Zoya.
Are you serious? Oh my.
During that team fight, during the team fight, Symbiote's Winions actually pushed the top lane in those 3 catapults and ended the game and destroyed Snowflake's core.
Well then.
So the early keep from Symbiote actually just won them the game, because without even needing to go back up there, they got the kill. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it.
Ending to such an epic game.
I mean, that was a huge team fight, and it just didn't... I guess the only thing that mattered about the team fight was that Symbiote made Snowflake stay engaged. They couldn't back to defend their base. They were probably so into the team fight, just like we were, that they didn't even notice their base dying. Now, to be fair, on the replay, we don't have any UI elements that bring attention to the core health, so we can't really keep track of that here, but oh my god, Zoya, I cannot believe that's how this game ended. I mean, the Winions. That's all that can be said.
4 catapults are not something to mess with. That's...
Yeah.
I was
absolutely.
Like, oh no, my replay bug, no, and then no.
Yeah, when it ended too, I was like, wait, what? What just happened? And then I scroll over to the core, I notice the building is missing from Snowflake's base. Whoa. Oh my god.
So that's like that strategy is something we've seen a lot from SMG, where they'll just go ham on the core, and then
absolutely
they're okay with dying because they can just backdoor it at any point, or their minions can backdoor it. But I really like Snowflake's response. That's the best response I've seen of it for a while, because most people are just like, okay, our backdoor, we're backdoorable, we're so low in the back, so let's just play defense. No, they were like, we're going ham.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and win this.
I think Snowflake had the best possible response there. Getting that curse, taking out the keep, was so clean. Now, it's just, I haven't seen minions win the game from 1 keep down before in Heroes of the Storm. That wave had to be building for 2, almost 3 minutes for Symbiote, and to not have someone clear that out is just such a painful way to lose a game.
Oh, absolutely.
For Snowflake. Although, to be fair, given that 3 people had just died in a team fight and the death timers are relatively long at this phase, I think it's safe to assume that Symbiote would have ended the game in a death push at that point in the game, but just to have the Winions snatched away is just... Oof, that's a rough place to be. You gotta wonder if Snowflake goes a little bit on tilt after ending a game in like such a disappointing fashion for them.
Yeah, that's gotta be frustrating. I mean, it was a sick game though. I liked it.
Yeah. That first team fight, where Symbiote managed to split Faye off on the top lane and managed to get a free 2 for 0 and then push with the Grave Golem. That was such a well-executed team fight by Symbiote. Really, really insane there, and just set the stage for the entire rest of the game for them.
I will say, though, LZ's Chen, not bad. I like
Yeah, Chen did a lot of disrupting the backline. We've seen how potent he can be at interrupting the Vala, not letting her get meaningful damage off, that sort of deal. So really impressive play there. We will have to see if they move forward and keep picking that, guys. When the ESV Championship Series returns, stick around for more of the Grand Finals. Hey guys, welcome back to the ESV Championship Series Grand Finals, game number 2. Oh my god, coming off of a hype game number 1 that ended in a Winions Catapults ending the game in favor of Symbiote. Snowflake down 0-1.
I'm gonna be honest, when the replay stopped and like I just saw Tyrael standing there, my heart like skipped like 5 beats. I was like, No, no, not for the
Please.
finals. No.
Yeah, we haven't had any fully broken replays the entire time, and then on the grand finals, it's like, you know what? We're done working. You're not paying us enough to play these replays. We're killing it.
Yeah, it was. I was terrified for a few seconds, and then Winions, of course.
And then the Winions. The Winions. That's just, oh my god. What a way to lose a game in the grand finals. But, to be fair, you know, when you lose that first keep that early in the game and get your core that low, you're in a bad position. Snowflake trying to make the best of it by death pushing down that middle, and they just couldn't secure the win. So good play on both sides there. Snowflake making the best of a bad decision. You know, all comes down to that one big team fight where they lost that keep, and after that it was just kind of one-sided from there on out. So guys, this is the ESV Championship Series. We are bringing you the grand finals of Season 1. If you liked game number 1 and you like the ESV Championship Series, make sure you follow on Twitter at ESVTV, Facebook.com/ESVTV, YouTube.com/ESVTV Gaming for all of the highlights and VODs for later. But stick around, because you don't want to have to watch a VOD. You want to see it live.
Live
these games
for
are
the
sick.
win. Always
Now,
better live.
We are about to get into game number 2, Zoya, between these teams. What do you expect? Do you expect any reactions from either of these teams to what happened in the last game, or these teams have had so long to play against each other that, you know, last game was as prepared for each other as they're ever going to be?
I don't think we'll see anything reactionary. I think things will stay relatively the same, you know, strategy-wise. I mean, I've already seen the picks and bans, and something really weird happens there, but...
Alright, well, if he says something weird happens, let's get into those picks and bans, guys, and check it out. Alright, I'm going to go over this bit by bit. So, Rhaegar...
Snowflake had first ban.
Snowflake had first ban, this is true, so it's not on the correct side, guys, for this one. It's just the way it is. Snowflake first banned Tassadar. We saw Tassadar ban last game, and then we saw the Rhaegar ban this game. Rhaegar not ever banned before in the ECS. Typically, he's let through, and people get to pick him.
Yeah, that's the weird thing to me that just really stands out is not only is Rhaegar banned, but SMG banned Rhaegar.
Yeah, that is because they've the ones been using Rhaegar most effectively, correct?
Yes, they love Rhaegar. So the fact that they banned Rhaegar is really shocking to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we see Snowflake. They pick up Chen again, and they also have Stitches. Now, Stitches not normally left available by teams who are playing against Faye. Faye, well-known, well-regarded as one of the best Stitches in Heroes, not typically allowed to play that hero, so that's a little unusual. Now, on the Symbiote side, Arthas Tyrael, Brightwing, who we haven't seen that much of from Symbiote, but has seen a lot of play in other cases, and especially by Snowflake in the double global composition, Vala, and Zeratul?
Abathur.
Man, I have not... Is that from a fan art?
That might be like early SC2 HOTS, like Blizzard art.
Alright, I have to be honest. I looked at that the entire time I was talking about everything else. I was looking at that like, I don't know what hero that I don't know what hero that is. I'm like, I played a lot of Heroes of the Storm, and this icon just threw me for a loop, guys. Anyway, Abathur, which we've not seen very much of, Zoya, but I think he's fantastic.
Oh, Abathur's great. There's a lot of he'll be much better in hopefully this next week if we get the custom games we're wanting. Whenever you know what map you're going to play on, Abathur will see a lot more play.
Yeah. I think the downside of having the possibility of being on the Haunted Mines has really deterred a lot of potential Abathur players from playing, because on that 2-lane map, your split pressure is just not as good, and the early team fights don't favor the way Abathur plays. So this is definitely going to be a really interesting game, seeing a little bit of unusual hero selection here. Now, why do you think they banned Rhaegar?
I have no idea. I'm just like completely confused by it. I mean, if like Uther was banned by Snowflake, and then they wanted to ban like both really good supports for like an awkward situation there, or maybe I don't know. Like I can't get into SMG's mind. Yeah. They do their own thing, man.
Yeah,
Dreadnought, give us light in chat, bro. Tell us.
Please tell us
why you banned Rhaegar.
Why the Rhaegar ban? Anyway, though, guys, that was Picks and Fan Phase. A little unusual on that end, but you know what? Enough of that. Let's just get in the game, Zoya.
I'm ready for the game, man. Are you ready for the game?
Man, I think I'm ready for the game. If I'm looking at this correctly, my UI seems to suggest that we are at 5 seconds and normal speed. have Snowflake on the blue team. We've got our shiny overlay showing Symbiote 1 game ahead in that best of 3. Let's get into it, Zoya.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
All right.
Plant Terror map.
Garden of Terror starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We have Chillatek leading the charge on that Uther. Brown Horse, like a noob lord. LZ Gamer on the Chen. Keelax, Masterskin, Falstad, Faye on the Stitches, and Tychus in that top lane on Idra.
And then in the red trunks, we have Team Symbiote Gaming, Dreadnought, Ontario, Mad Timmy on Brightwing, Arthlon on that Abathur, Soldier playing Arthas, and KO rounding out the team on Vala.
Absolutely. Now we see a lot of these weird heroes, I would call them, are played by Arthlon in this team, so not surprising to see him on the Abathur. He seems to play whatever hero is the most fill-in or least usual of the roles.
Yeah. He's a weird person. I mean, have you ever talked to Arthlon? He's just weird.
I vaguely recall him showing up on the ECS interview upside down,
yeah.
So I would agree he might be a weird person, but he's a chill dude. Now he digs out to this top lane immediately and sets some Abathur mines up. I like this a lot. It's just going to start giving vision for KO. That Demon Hunter a little vulnerable in the lane if she gets caught by a hook, so I can see why he's putting those out there. I like that play a lot from him.
Yeah.
Already.
It's just, a good Abathur is constantly laying mines and mainly stacking them on the Vala's end, like you said. That's just such a good play.
Yeah, now this was a huge mistake by Abathur, actually. If you take notice of where this mid lane reached equilibrium, it's very far on Snowflake's side of the lane, and that's because there was one mistimed Locust leading the charge in front of the creeps, and that's going to cost Dreadnought C. He has to move up too far and get in a vulnerable position in order to get experience from this lane, and that actually cost him a lot of health there as he gets too far forward, ends up getting hooked back, taking a lot of damage for free. Going to have to use his Moonwell already.
Both players with the global ult are down in bottom lane. Well, not ult, but global mobility.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is smart. You'll want to keep your globals on the edge so you can move around quickly and be a little bit more map mobile. We do have Soldier doing a little bit of damage to LZ, but right now it just seems to be kind of a stalemate. No team really much done. Ooh, LZ getting pretty low.
Just gonna walk away from that though. Tap his Moonwell. He's got a little low. Now we do see Snowflake and Symbiote both immediately getting onto those small plant spawns as soon as it goes to night phase. I like to see that with the seeds being a little more instrumental in the early and mid game now. There's a little more emphasis placed on these first nights where you can kind of gather up, 30, maybe 45 seeds really easily and then get a clean lead ahead of your opponents. But it looks like we're going to see a 30-30 seed split, which is really common nowadays as both teams take the safe side small plants.
Yeah. And I mean, I really like the plant now. It's much better. The seeds actually have a pretty good purpose. You don't see them going for the plant terrors really quick, but it's still not like the objectives up, go for it like it is on other maps, but it's much better than before when it was like don't go for the objectives until 10 minutes in.
Yeah, definitely a healthier balance for that. Now we do see Arthas with that Symbiote for Symbiote team taking those Siege Giants really early. He's not going to be at a neutral or positive health yet because he doesn't have that rune tap from level 7, so it's a little awkward. He's going to lose some health doing that, but it's the best you got. He wasn't being very effective in that solo roaming just because of the nature of how it works. With that Symbiote, he just didn't have enough damage to take out those targets. So we see him taking those Siege Giants, and those Siege Giants get hooked into the entire Snowflake team in the mid lane, and that means Snowflake going to have the Siege Giant advantage in the mid lane.
Yeah, which is, I mean, any extra pressure in the mid lane is nice. Most people tend to push the mid lane early on with that plant terror. So the lower you get the walls, the easier it is for them to push into that fort. We do see that Soldier is getting the Giants in the bottom right as well. Both teams being very mobile and just kind of doing the objectives on the map.
Definitely good to see. The Siege Giant getting taken early. That also is very helpful, so Falstad can't fly in and bribe them, take him away from you. That's always a risk when you're playing against one of those highly mobile global heroes like that with bribe. Now, we see both of these teams, 0 kills, but Snowflake a little ahead on experience despite Symbiote having one more Siege Giant camp. They were level 7 a few seconds earlier, but again, that level 7 to level 6 advantage not enough to trigger a big kill or anything like that. No big engagements happening, and we see both teams being very conservative, taking their own Siege Giant camp, and now Symbiote forcing some damage onto this bottom plant terror, and Snowflake responding to the minimap notification and doing the exact same thing of their own.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of cool thing about the minimap is when you do see when it's being taken. so it allows the other team to react, but at the same time, sometimes not giving that vision away allows for a little bit extra cool strategy. And both teams ending up being at that 90 skull count. Going to have to wait until the next night cycle before we'll see the first plant terror.
That's why getting the dead even split is so important, because if you get at least 81 skulls, you know that the enemy can't get a plant terror in the first night phase. So you just guarantee that you won't get slammed by that map objective before you collect anything. Now, we do see Soldier actually gets to defend those siege giants because the hook missed. He didn't take any damage. Totally safe there. And we see a lot of people in this top lane for both sides.
Yeah, it's actually really stark. We do see that LZ is going back mid though to start soaking that experience. Both teams desperately want to hit level 10. Poor Keelax and Mad Timmy though. That's the problem with being your globals. You just sit in that lane for the longest time.
Yeah, neither team getting aggressive enough or making the sick plays, like, invading into the enemy jungle, nothing like that. So there hasn't been a call to arms or a call to action for those bottom lane globals to show up. And neither team has really even threatened the other team enough to force either of those out. So we've seen just a really, really stalemated bottom lane there. Neither of them really trying to force something down. Because if you're in that bottom lane in the global 1v1 and you end up dying or losing the 1v1 and your team ends up losing somewhere else on the map because of that, that's just a terrible feeling. So both players choosing to play it 100% safe, not overextending at all there, so that if their team needs them on the top side of the map, they can global up and get to them.
Yeah, we do see that the Knights are cleaned up. Keelax is up top with Uther sitting bottom, pushing with his Knights. Abathur actually ended up rotating down to help try and defend against that bombs going down. And with all the objectives down, I mean, do you think we're going to see the hard engage from one of the teams soon, or are they just kind of chilling until night?
On this map specifically, I feel like they're probably going to wait until the next night phase, or at least some siege giant camps to come up. That's the earliest we're going to see plays. There's just not really incentive to go aggressive on this map without mercenaries or anything to help you push. We see Keelax bribing away those siege giants instantly for Snowflake. They're safe siege giants, they take them away. They're going to be pushing mid. Now Snowflake might choose to push with these, but again, Symbiote sends Arthas to get his own siege giants. It looks like Snowflake knows this is going to happen and they might try and interrupt this.
Well, they're going to hit an Abathur mine, so Soldier is aware that this is going on. He's still going to be over there. Dreadnought head up to try and intercept this Chill Tech and Keelax. This is going to be actually a pretty big collapse of Snowflake. There are 4 people here. All of SMG is here, though. It only looks like there is 4. But here's
Soldier gets hooked in. Dreadnought goes on that judgment. He lands on Faye, does interrupt them, but it's not enough damage to do anything to Faye, who just kind of walks away. Chillatek getting low now, but he's Uther. He's got the heals. Is he going to walk away? Kaio, meanwhile, on the backside, getting soloed by the Chen dive. Mad Timmy also incredibly low. Forced out of the fight. Ends up getting taken down by the Odin Rocket Barrage. And that is going to be a 2-for-0 in favor of Snowflake. The Arthalon on Abathur just did not get the clone in time to be a strong front line. So yeah, oh my god, wow. Faye hooking Dreadnought through the wall. Actually might get a pick here. The root goes off. He's taking a lot of damage, but he doesn't get the sword over the wall like he wants. He still ends up getting away anyway through that brush.
Faye's hooks, man. She is nasty with stitches. It's just, it's fun to watch. I love watching Faye stitches.
Absolutely. So now Snowflake did get those 4 giants. They pushed the front wall down in that mid lane, so not critical damage, but makes it a lot easier to push down that fort when the opportunity comes. And we see Arthalon getting really aggressive with his Abathur in this bottom lane to soak experience. I like this a lot. I would like him to be in the brush, in all honesty. It's a little scary when you see an Abathur out in a lane and not in a brush. But still, he's going to be trying to soak and get his team ahead because they fell a little behind after that 0-for-2 team fight.
So if you're both Snowflake and SMD, which player do you put in the plant terror?
Oh, that is a tough call. It's always such a tough call to make those decisions. Now, for Symbiote, I think they need to put Tyrael or Arthas in it. It doesn't really matter who, but their team is already a little bit damage light, so I'd be really scared to put,
Abathur,
for example, Vala in there, and it'd be really scary to put Abathur in there because when the plant dies, then all of a sudden your Abathur is so vulnerable. So I'd like to see one of the frontliners in there because they fill the same role in the plant terror as a frontliner, and it just ups their damage dramatically. Now for Snowflake, I think Chen is the easy pick. Chen is not scared at all when the plant terror dies. He can do it, no question. Having Falstad in there makes it feel like they're giving up a little bit too much of their team's damage. But let's see how this bottom lane push works out for them. Symbiote way behind on getting their plant terror. Tyrael is still in the base, hasn't even made it out yet, and that means that this front wall is going to go down for free in favor of Snowflake.
They do have their fall set inside of that Tyrael in theirs of SMG. They're going to push this fort I like that they're pushing the fourth that was the least push, giving themselves the opportunity to take it. And here comes Arthlon. He is on the Symbiote onto Arthas. They are diving straight into Idra. They do miss the first freeze. Will they be able to land the second one? Plant Terror versus Plant Terror.
Soldier getting hooked in there is taking a lot of damage, but he has the army of the dead up. Is he going to be able to sustain through? It looks like they don't have the chain CC to take him down. Meanwhile, the Arthalon cloning the Arthas takes Tychus down super low, and he has to pop Odin immediately to get out of there. Meanwhile, the Plant Terror and Chen zoning out Kaio and Matami. They're actually going to end up going down. Kaio solo gets taken out by that final auto attack. The Plant Terror, while the two Arthases are trying to tango with this back line, but it is not enough. They don't have that big Plant Terror damage, and now another kill in favor of Snowflake, along with the clone from Abathur being down, means that Snowflake has a huge advantage in this fight.
Yeah, this is a big win for Snowflake. They're going to keep chasing down Dreadnought. They end up losing their Plant Terror, but now they have 3 forts that are decently exposed here. Good job from Arthlon to split pushing that top lane, using the Locust as well as his Symbiote to try and push that fort down as much as possible. The first keep of the fort of the game is going to be going in favor of Snowflake.
Absolutely. Snowflake takes that first fort, and they do end up taking a small experience lead. They're level 15 to level 14 of Symbiote. Wow. So Symbiote taking not very good fights so far in this game. They haven't managed to win a team fight.
Which is surprising, because in both those first focus fire targets, aside from LZ going ham on the back line, they kept focus firing both Arthases who had army up, and they didn't have the stuns to lock it down. So it looked like SMG was going to be able to turn that around, just because both Arthases refused to die. But even then, Snowflake came on top. It was a really weird fight to watch.
We're seeing the problems with this 2-tank composition and the Abathur cloning a tank. It means the Symbiote, even though they have enormous staying power in the fights, they just don't have the damage to cut through Snowflake. It felt like Chen on that backline was under no threat at all. There's no way Demon Hunter can take out that Chen on her own, and Chen has just been able to sit on Demon Hunter and deny her ability to do any damage, which makes it so hard. Now we do see them re-engaging here. Symbiote going in hard. They use the Tyrael Judgment to get on Tychus, but he Odins again without response, and he's going to be back at full health. Now he's walking away at low health. He gets the Uther Shield, so he's able to walk away. LZ Gamer tanking a lot of that backline damage. A huge shotgun comes across on 3 people, doing tons of damage to Demon Hunter, now getting chased by the Storm, Earth, and Fire. He uses that split. Is he going to jump again? It looks like he's going to play conservative and not chase that Demon Hunter out. And we see a 0-for-0 team fight after a lot of ultimates are blown here by both teams.
Yeah, I mean, literally right before this fight, you explain it best, with the double tank Abathur. They just don't have enough damage to kill anybody. I mean, they had the perfect engage. Kelax wasn't there. Idra got caught low, and they still could not secure a kill just because they were so light on the damage. And a second fort might end up falling here. That Siege will not be able to get it, but now the plants are up. They're already at 95 plants. Snowflake is splitting up everywhere to try and get as many seeds as possible and get that second plant there.
Symbiote doing a good job actually using those knights in the top lane. The mid lane fight was just a distraction. The space was created for their Winions to take out another fort. Just the clean strategies from Symbiote. Now, we do see both teams splitting up, kind of clearing one half of the jungle here. Snowflake ahead in seeds from earlier, meaning they get a Plant Terror much more quickly than Symbiote does, which puts Symbiote in a little bit of a rough place if Snowflake grabs that immediately, but now both teams have it ready. So we're just going to be a parity yet again with those Plant Terrors. One thing I think we should be seeing here is Abathur should start cloning Vala. Given that they've lost 2 team fights because of not having enough damage despite good engages, it feels like the Abathur clone should start going on Vala. You can use that strafe to get good damage output.
Yeah, we'll have to see what their plan is going forward. We do see that Kelax jumps into the Plant Terror for Snowflake, and KO jumping into it for SMG. They don't have their Vala now. Abathur can't heroic it, and that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't see how Symbiote is going to get anything done here. With this big Plant Terror, it's got a ton of health, and it does good damage on its own to the buildings, but they would be able to clear the buildings out so much more effectively if they had a ranged DPS like Vala able to auto-attack here.
We'll have to see how this fight...
Ooh, a hook on Mad Timmy from Faye over the top side of the fight. Mad Timmy gets gorged and stunned immediately, chain stunned by the Uther Hammer and Divine Storm. That is all the cooldowns blown, but they do manage to kill that Brightwing instantly in the fight. Arthalon cloned Arthas again. He goes onto that backline, gets onto Tychus, but it's just not accomplishing anything. Meanwhile, they're trying to focus down this fort. KO on the fort. He ends up getting turned into a small plant. That is not good. Dreadnought trying to take it down. Chill Attack has all his cooldown down. does end up going down to that focus fire, but it is not enough. Symbiote already lost 2 players. They're trying to run away with that plant terror. Arthas gets polymorphed. Do they have the catch?
Jeez.
Oh my god, the fishing hook from FaZe pulls Soldier all the way back into the team, but is he going to get away anyway? We see he popped the Army of the Dead now. Those will block any further hooks, and it looks like Snowflake just doesn't have the damage to take down that Arthas.
What time are you at? Just so
I am at 1456,
Okay.
1457,
We are
1458.
I was able to catch up in that fight.
Awesome.
Really cool fight. They did get the fort for SMG, which is good, and they ended up actually getting their first kill of the game, so it's now 6 kills to 1. But
yeah, they got
Faye
the first
with
kill.
The
Awesome.
plays. I mean, Faye making that fight so easy for them with 2 back-to-back sick hooks.
Yeah, Brightwing could not do anything that fight. Literally got hooked, got gorged after the hook, and as soon as the Brightwing got spit out, Hammer of Justice into Divine Storm, 100 to 0'd. No chance to do anything. So painful to be that hook gorge target.
Oh wow, Snowflake got so many seeds that they were able to get back-to-back plant terrors, which is huge.
Yeah, actually, that's really incredible. They're going to spawn another one immediately after this cooldown comes up. We see Keelax already in position to get it again. He's just waiting out the timer while it grows. And this is going to be the first time in this game that the plant terrors are not going to be paired against each other. This is going to be a huge opportunity window for Snowflake to make the plays happen while they have this big advantage.
Yeah, and at the same time, Snowflake has Knights pushing, or both in mid lane, both Siege Giants are pushing, so SMG has to respond to that. They do get the Knights of their own, they are pushing top, and Snowflake gets Knights to push bottom. We'll have to see where they want to push with this plant tower. Looks like they're headed top lane.
Yeah, so the plant tower right now walking down mid lane while the whole Snowflake squad, it looks like they're walking to top lane. Probably going to clear out these Knights, and we'll have to see what decision they make afterwards. Abathur now has resorted to sitting inside the main base near the core. That is not the best place you want to be. It means your Locust timing is going to run out before it can help push.
Yep.
And that is going to be a problem. And Symbiote just has to do something to let them win these team fights. They
and
do
he didn't
have
get
a
global binds, too.
Oh, interesting. So, just taking a second here while these teams are split up, not fighting, they're just taking plant seeds. Let's take a quick look at these talents for the uncommon heroes in this game. We see an Abathur using attack speed Locust, a little unusual, barbed spine, so increased stab damage. Solid. We see the Mule, which is a really powerful, we all know that.
Especially
Ultimate Evolution, and then Assault Strain, which is really common, and Locust Form. So we do see a pretty typical Locust-emphasized late-game build. He's going to be able to split push with that, but he needs to be able to leave the base to do it.
Well, we do see that during this downtime, SMG was able to get enough of their own plant terror. It is growing right now, but Keelax is already pushing that top 4. Let's just make sure everyone has their heroics up. Yet every talent is up right now.
So we do see this plant terror has had a lot of time to get into Symbiote space. This is not where you want to let a plant terror be. He's just doing so much work on that fort. It looks like Symbiote wants to engage now. They have cloned the Arthas yet again. Will they wait for the Arthas ultimate to come up before they engage? They're kind of just skirmishing right now, keeping Keelax off of the keep. Keelax is in a little bit deep right now, but that plant terror is not close enough to going down to be a real concern yet. They are chasing out Chillatek, though. He's getting a little bit low, taking a lot of damage from those slams, and the Judgment comes in, and he gets taken down before he can full heal himself. That is a huge downside. He's in that spear form, not going to be as much healing now. Keelax also loses that plant terror. He's getting chased out, has to run far away from the fight, giving up Idra, who gets polymorphed and can't cast the Odin. A clean 2 for 0 in favor of Symbiote, and their plant terror is still up.
I'm really curious as to why Keelax kind of turned around. I think he could have just taken out that fort, and since he's fall side, he could have flown into the fight. Because he was just kind of chasing with the plant terror and not really accomplishing much. I mean, I guess he was wanting to go with the team to hopefully get a polymorph. But now we have this big push coming from SMG, and yes, they haven't gotten many kills this game, but they got kills in the late game where the kill timers are like 40 seconds long. We do have the hook from Faye, gets the Gorge, there comes the Smite, and Matsumi does actually end up getting away. There's a shotgun off, but not enough to get the kill there.
Yeah, Matsumi actually got level 20 and leveled up that Storm Shield to save himself in combination with his level 4 active shield, so just not any damage coming across from that shotgun off. 10 seconds left on Uther, 15 on Tychus. Symbiote looks like they're trying to force down this core, but a little bit of split decision. KO attacking Stitches instead of the core. That could cost them here. Now they do have 4 people damaging the core. It's at about half health now. Matt Timmy's so low, could go down, but that plant terror has so much health left. Gets hooked away by Stitches. That's going to buy a lot of time.
Oh God,
but do they have the damage? Do they have the damage to clear out Arthas? And Brightwing goes down. Tyrael ends it. KO coming out of that plant terror, finishing it off with a strafe.
It just goes to show you that with the late game, being such long res timers that all it takes is one mistake, one misstep, and a team like SMG will be able to capitalize every single time.
That entire game, it looks like Symbiote is kind of on the back foot. They didn't get any really good trades out of anything. They kind of went even everywhere, but Snowflake had the advantage. And then one big team fight loss in the late game at around the halfway point in the map with the plant terror up just spells defeat instantly for Snowflake.
Yeah, it was a great game, a great series. Snowflake played really well. They just seemed to lose both games due to the smallest thing almost. Like game one, they lost to Winions, and then this game, they just, they happened to one small misstep, two people dead for 40 seconds while they had a plant and push and win.
Absolutely.
It was, I mean, can't take away from SMG. They played solid, and they know when they can end. They see it.
It definitely looked in that game. Snowflake was keeping even with them on everything except that killer instinct that just Symbiote finds those little places to take out your base all in the blink of an eye, and that is just a 2-0. A 2-0 in favor of Symbiote wins them the grand finals of the ESV Championship Series Season 1, guys. Wow. To talk about this victory, we are going to be bringing Dreadnought from Team SMG.
Oh my god.
Just a second. We'll talk to this guy, the shot caller. I don't actually know whether he happens to have a webcam.
He does.
He does. That's really awesome. I
got him, man. I got your back.
Oh my god, what did you do? What have you done?
What have you done, bro?
What have you done?
Oh snap! It's Dreadnought.
It is indeed Dreadnought, sir. Welcome back to the ECS. I feel like you've been here before.
I have.
Almost like you win a lot of games and have a lot of interviews or something, sir.
Yeah, I guess. I've been here twice before.
Right.
Awesome.
You were also on that really cool show, Town Hall.
Yeah, that one really cool show.
Yeah.
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 That's
Pretty
a pretty cool show, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, so I guess just to dive straight into it, congratulations. You guys won the, I guess, first major event for Heroes of the Storm, the ECS.
Hold on. There was one tournament before, the King of the something.
Yeah, that wasn't a major. That was just...
It wasn't major enough for you?
If I took third, fourth place in that tournament, then it's not that.
I see how it is.
It's not that good.
Why are you taking your own
I
your own stuff away, Zoya? Anyway, Dreadnought is the man of the hour, winning the ECS Season 1.
All on you. Congratulations to you.
Yeah. Did you have a team? Were you playing? I didn't notice.
Yeah, I guess there was a team with me.
Okay.
No, yeah, it feels good, honestly, to win it. I feel like if both teams, looking back at those games, if they were to actually review their own gameplay, it was more of who could throw harder rather than who could win better. I don't feel like either team felt like they played appropriately.
Okay, interesting. To watch, they were both fun games to watch. A lot of interesting team fights. Why would you say you felt like the games were really sloppy from both teams?
Yeah, well, we just played the winners bracket finals against Snowflake the games before that, in which, as if anybody's seen, that they actually had taken games off of us there, and they caught us off guard with some of their pick bans, and we didn't expect them to play the way that they had, and then because of that we took a 30-minute break and we came back into this, and we were definitely very, very on tilt as a team. And I think you can see that at multiple points. We make a really big play on the top lane in the first game, and then we end up throwing at 2 points where Arthalon and KO both go in 1 versus 5, get picked off, give them a chance to stay dominate the game, and then they end up losing in the long run because they aren't defending. The same thing happens with the second game. None of the games were played, I think, very well by either teams.
Okay, well then.
Let's talk about game number 1. You had the Winions there at the very end. Was that something you guys were aware of and you were delaying for the push?
Yeah. Once the curse fell off, we realized that the lane was pushed extremely hard, which is why we were constantly, even being pretty low, trying to force the fight as hard as we could. I was trying to mount as quick as possible and make sure that none of them were able to mount, because we had the 3 to 4 catapults at that point. Pushing onto their base when we knew that we had knocked it down to roughly 20% beforehand. And so that was a really big mistake on their part. We actually should have not even lost a keep on that curse. But how we played it, like I said, we threw really hard there.
There was a pick that allowed them to keep. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
we our comms wise just were very really hyphy. Like we were nowhere near our like traditional SMG, and it's painful
Okay.
to watch, but at the same time, I mean we didn't play I guess horrible, but
Okay. So, what is with the Rhaegar ban? Because that really threw us for a loop in game number 2. Why did you guys ban Rhaegar?
we knew that they wanted Tychus first pick, and we knew that we wanted Arthas and Tyrael. So the
Okay.
number one thing we were worried about is giving them somebody who could hyper carry, which I would consider a bloodlusted Odin at that point.
Okay.
So if we banned the Rhaegar, they would first pick Tychus, and then we've removed any heavy like Rhaegar composition. And also, Rhaegar really works well against a double melee composition. So with the Bloodlust, the mobility it provides for everybody on the team makes it harder for the double melee to keep up, and we didn't want them to have that.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Abathur pick.
I think my cam
Abathur.
just cut out for a
Yeah, your
second.
cam
Yeah,
just
your
cut
cam
out.
cut out.
Rip.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Abathur. Right now, Abathur is kind of hard for teams to pick. There are maps that he just doesn't go well on. Was this something you guys were worried about when picking him? And what are your thoughts on Abathur on the plant map in general?
I think for the Abathur, I think he's really weak in only like one map, and it's Dragonshire. And that's only because he no longer provides the body that is absolutely necessary for the map objective. On every other map, he doesn't really have that issue. So on Dragonshire is really weak, but the reason for the Abathur pick in that scenario is double Arthas with is huge. It is a very good thing, especially into a Chen. We just played it absolutely terrible. One Arthas is supposed to dive the backline, the other peels for the range, because the Chen with the 7 root mixed with the 16 damage is extremely high, like very 1v1 able of any DPS currently. So we played it wrong, and it was made for one to dive, which is going to be the clone because he's most likely to die, do enough damage to the backline, peel off the Chen, and then proceed to use the AoE support from the Tyrael to be able to win the team fight. And we didn't play it very well at all again. But another reason why it was a really good pick is because he's one of the only characters who can't get pulled. So it removes an opportunity for a heavy pick post 16 with the Stitches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel was it correct to let Faye have Stitches there? Or do you think, I mean, we saw that Snowflake almost won the game off of a couple good hooks. I mean, is it a concern? Should you just not ever let them have Stitches, or is there a way to play around that even better than what you guys did? Like, how do you defeat the Stitches that's just getting those hooks? Maybe even for solo queue players, like, what can they do to, make themselves not lose to that? Because I know it's a frustrating way to lose.
Yeah. If possible, in a team fight that you are winning as a team, you should focus Stitches after the first kill target dies. And the reasoning for that is because even if you let Stitches live and you've won the team fight, Stitches has the ability to stop any team from sieging into you. So if you're able to kill Stitches, that would be what I would say solo queues wise what you should do. But I would say that in terms of should we have let Faye have Stitches there? Yeah. I think we are a very bad team playing into Stitches because we play really aggressively. And Stitches is a character that you need to take all the small wins and abuse those over time to get your team the advantage, then win one big team fight and win the game. And it doesn't really work with our playstyle. It really clashes because we like the small wins and then we try to get objectives. And then he is a huge counter to that kind of playstyle. But we do not play around to Stitches nearly as well as we should, and we have focused on it and we have discussed what we think we need to do and how to make it happen. I don't think Stitches is that big of an issue. It's more of we can't play very well against one.
Okay, so that's interesting. Taking a little bit of the own fault for that. Well, guys, I mean, clearly Symbiote has played very excellently throughout the ECS season, dropping one game? The entire season 1?
Yeah.
One game dropped the entire ECS season 1. Dreadnought, thank you very much for playing fantastic games. You've really just shown the best way to play this game so far. Maybe some shout outs, where can we find you? How can we follow? As soon as Heroes comes up, where can we get the Symbiote team's content?
We got Twitter at Symbiote Gaming. Mine is at Dreadnought Hots. My Twitch is at Dreadnought Heroes. And you can follow everybody on the team at our Twitter. It'll have every one of our accounts that you can follow. Shout out to everybody on the team: Arthalon, Soldier, Mad Timmy, and KO. And I think that's it.
Well, that's it also for the ECS Season 1, guys. Give a big shout out in chat. Hype for your winners, Symbiote Gaming. So excited to see more from them in the future. That was just, I mean, just putting on a clinic the entire season, clearing it up with 2-0 best of threes in the playoffs. I mean, that's just the way you want to see it. That is the way the dominating team wants to show they deserve that spot. So, really big props there, guys. And thanks for joining us, Dreadnought. I think that is going to be it.
Alright, yeah, thanks for having me. SMG.
SMG.
SMG. Oh my god, Zoya.
What's up, bro?
I can't believe it's over.
I know, that sucks.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed the ESV Championship Series Season 1, make sure you follow us on Twitter at ESVTV, YouTube.com/ESVTV Gaming, Facebook.com/ESVTV. Follow us everywhere. Give us some likes so you can keep all of your information available for when we do the Season 2, which will be coming. Season 1 was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm really happy I got this opportunity. You can find me on twitch.tv/DunkTrain. My Twitter's at DunkTrain, like you see below. You can find my boy Zoya over there doing all his stuff. I'm going to let you give him his shout-outs. And I think that's going to be it.
All right, well, you can follow me at IVD Zoya. You can check out IVD Gaming at IVD Gaming. Our StarCraft team is doing really well right now. You can hopefully see a future Heroes team as well. You can follow my stream at twitch.tv/ZoyaTV. I'll be streaming a lot of Heroes soon, like just playing it, not just the shows I've been doing. You can check out Town Hall. If you guys want to go over to youtube.com/SolidJakeGG, we just had an episode of Town Hall where we had the community manager Trickslayer on it. It was a really cool episode, so make sure you guys go check that episode out. We have a new episode coming up every Tuesday. And then King of the Nexus, wait, I forget the name of my own damn show. Whatever the King of the Hill, whatever the King of the Hill show I do with Sham2, that will be returning as soon as the alpha is, or beta, whatever it's going to be. Whenever the game's back online, that will be returning as well. So you should know. Follow me on Twitter and follow the stream, Zoya TV, and you'll be able to follow all that stuff.
Awesome, guys.
It was fun to cast with you, man. It was a blast
Thank
this
you.
season.
Thank you very much for that. I had so much fun casting. Here's the Storm. I love it, guys. I hope all of the viewers loved it. We're so glad you could join us for this and make this such a fun experience for everyone, guys. That's going to be it for the ECS Season 1.
Woo.
I think we're rolling out. We're done.
Woo.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.